All right. I am with Mike Secord. Hey, Mike.
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Good. So I think, you and I talk a lot we talk to a lot of agents, and a lot of the agents that we're dealing with are in this like quicksand mode. Oh, my lights went out. Hold on. They're in
In the
this like
dark.
quicksand, I know, in this quicksand mode where they
Yep.
just feel like they're burning the candles at both ends. They're doing all of the work. They know they need like all this stuff, and it's kind of like also shiny object. It's like too much, too overwhelming. It's frustrating. They feel like they can't take on anymore. And you're here to give us a
I hope I can. I hope I can.
breath.
But you're right. They're in this quicksand. And what I found is most of the time they're panicking in that quicksand and they don't
Yes.
realize that it's not that deep and it's pretty simple to get out, but they
Yeah.
panic. And that's what gets people into more danger is the panic.
Yes.
Stop panicking, get some clarity, slow
We should
down.
all take a breath together.
Yep. And then you can get out. So
Yes. Take some best
yep.
practices. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you today, because I mean, I remember when I was growing in this quicksand, and
Mhm.
I remember thinking like, all I need is, to buy this system, put this person in place. I mean, it's that easy. That's all I need.
Mhm.
But like when I'm thinking about that stuff, help me like reframe it in my head where there's like a calmness, and so that I know what I'm doing is actually moving me like towards my goal. Because that's not like how that panicking is not helpful.
No, it's not. And
No.
and everyone wants our money. So
Yeah.
we constantly are getting bombarded with people that want our money. And we're hearing this, put systems in place. And the majority of people are looking at systems as in something they buy,
Yeah.
and systems are something you do.
Okay.
That's
Tell
the
me
first
more.
thing all the time is don't go buy something, put a system in place of what you do. So like
Yes.
when I first started back in 1997, I carried a little 3x5 file card box with 1 through 30, every month in there. And
Yeah.
that was my tickler system. I just kept rotating things. That was my system. I didn't use Top Producer, didn't have a computer, didn't even have a cell phone back then. I had a pager, you know,
Oh no.
that's your system back then. And right now, the simplest thing is your system is your calendar.
Yeah.
So if you've got your calendar set up that is going into, okay, if it isn't in my calendar, it doesn't exist. So is my lead generation in there? Is my lead follow-up? Am I doing my administrative stuff after my lead gen and my lead follow-up is done? That's system number one.
Well, I think too, this leads to like a couple of different ideas. It's like, okay, a lot of people, when we talk about the calendar, they're
Mhm.
like, put themselves like back to back to back to back to back, which that doesn't work. And
No.
it's like, okay, but I like your point. It's like, okay, you're doing the lead generation first. Because here's the thing, if you don't have any leads and you're
Mhm.
not generating any new leads, nothing else matters. Like
Matters.
it does not matter. You do not have a business, you will not get paid, nothing
Mhm.
matters. And it doesn't even matter if a deal is falling apart. Like you still have to generate leads. That deal will or will not fall apart, regardless if you deal with it now
Mhm.
or for lead generation. I like to do 50-minute increments. I forget the principle, but it's like something where you do like, like 8 to 8:50, 9 to 9:50, you take a 10-minute break. Then
Mhm.
you do like the next, like a mindset break. Then you do the next thing. You go to the bathroom, you do all this stuff, right?
Yep.
Why does that work?
You got to keep your energy high and you got to keep yourself focused. That's the main thing. And for some people, it's 50 minutes. For me, if I just need like 35, 45 minutes.
Nice.
Then I need to like walk a little bit, kind of
Yeah.
get my mind centered and then get right back at it.
Listen to Real Estate Fight Club, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
exactly. And then get a little more and then you right back into it. So,
Right.
everyone has a little bit of thing that works for them.
Mm-hmm.
What doesn't work is the procrastination before you get started. Just jump in, get going,
Right.
take your time after, and then jump
Yep.
in and get going and do it. And just know that
Well,
it's
I find when I'm doing it, like when I know it's going to be over in like 30 or 50 minutes, it's
yeah.
like, okay, everything can wait until then. And for me, like when I accomplish that goal of generating the leads, I know that I'm doing my number one priority, which is, I think, what you're talking about. It's like,
Mhm.
your calendar is developed to, if you show me your calendar, we will tell you what your results will be. And
Exactly.
if you do things in order of priority, which is what you said, like do your generation first, and then do admin stuff, then you will have a business and you will be more calm. But that's a hard thing, right? Because when you have all these gnats, like texting you, calling you, like all this stuff, like how do you get out of that panic mode?
Yeah. And, and it's something that a good friend of mine, a coach, Hank, is pounding in my head is you just got to chill the fuck out, basically. You no, I mean, you
Tell me,
do what you
man.
need to do. And if you've done the activities, then you just got to chill out. And that's the hardest part, is
That
really
is.
chilling out. And what I've found is when I'm not chilling out, I haven't done my activities.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
I'm
that's my
so
system.
grumpy when I don't generate my leads. And like the people that are close to me are like, did you lead generate today? Because you're like super grumpy. A lot of people do find peacefulness in like exercising. And I find peacefulness in cold calling. So they're like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I didn't generate my leads today. And they're like, get on the phone now. For like, that first call can pull you through the next half hour or 40 minutes or whatever it is.
And you said the one word that I know a lot of people that are listening to this are already, they like cringed a little bit when you said cold calling, they freak out.
Right.
Just it's the way you look at things and the way you put meaning behind it changes everything.
Yeah.
Cold calling for you, and I know you well enough, it means you're just picking up the phone, calling to lead generate.
Right.
Yeah. And that person isn't expecting your call, so it is a cold call.
Yeah.
Cold calling to these agents, like, I don't want to call people I don't know.
Well, yeah.
And they panic. It's like, stop panicking. Just call people. Call people you don't know. Call people you know. Just call somebody.
Well, there's so many ways to generate the leads. Like whatever your way is that leads to the results you're looking for, just do that, right?
Exactly.
So I think like one of the things that I did learn because it took me a long time. Like I had a paper calendar, and then I learned how to use Gmail and all this, and like the Gmail calendar. It took a long time to go paperless. But what I discovered is like when people were like calling me or texting me during that generation time, and I knew I had to do that generation, I would just be like, I'll call you back at 10, call you back at 11. And then they calm down. So then I calm down. Because if my client was like upset, like I want to make them happy, I want to solve their problem. So then I would take that on.
Yeah.
But if I communicate with them, hey, I'll call you back at this time, then most of them were like, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there very few people, even when you call people, you're not expecting that everyone you dial is going to answer.
Right.
So people calling you don't expect that you're going to answer.
Right.
What they expect is that you'll respond.
Correct. And that's a difference. And I think that's a very good point. You don't have to answer you don't have to answer, but it is important to respond. And that is part of the communication.
Yeah. That is all that they're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's easy. And I mean, today on our phones, it's extremely easy.
So easy.
It pops up and you just hit a thing and it'll send them a message.
And you can create those messages too for people that don't know. Like you can customize it. So if you generate from like 9 to 9:50 or 9 to 9:30 or whatever it is, right? You can have one that says, can I call you back at 10 or can I call you back in an hour or like whatever, right?
So what we just talked about right there of how you're going to take a phone call and how you respond to people, that's a system.
Yeah.
You have to go buy something. Like, get this out of your mind. Like, what is your system that you do every day that can be duplicated, that can be worked on? And that's how people grow. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to a certain spot, you can leverage that system. Sometimes leveraging that system is paying for something or hiring someone.
Right.
But it's a system. You don't pay someone to and use MailChimp as a leverage as a system. It's like, no, my system is I communicate this way. Mm-hmm. And I use MailChimp as the way to communicate that way.
And I think that's confusing, right? Because we do get like a lot of people that are like, hey, buy this and it'll like ease all your problems and you'll generate like you'll get all this business from it. And I don't know about you, but every time I do that, that's not what happens.
No, no.
No.
It's very hard to spend money on a system of some sort that they're trying to sell you that will
Mhm.
fill your calendar.
Right.
Your calendar is your system of how you're
That
going to
is the
generate leads.
system.
Once that's full, then go out and pay money to actually expedite and make that service better.
Right.
It won't fill
Exactly.
your calendar. Your activities will.
No, that makes sense. But it is, I mean, we are bombarded.
Oh,
So
we
it
are.
is like,
We are. And it's everywhere we turn. It's not just us. It's everyone that's in anything is
yeah,
bombarded with stuff. There's all of a sudden there's all these new businesses that people have that are geared towards making money off realtors because they know, number one, that we don't want to do what the most important thing is in our
which is
thing, and that's our
generating
lead
leads.
generation. We don't want to do that. We don't want to hold ourselves accountable to our system of scheduling.
Mhm.
So they know that we'll pay money to get away from that pain.
Yeah.
All it does is create more pain.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of tips that we can offer for
Mhm.
the calendaring, but I think I like what you're saying, like thinking of your calendar as the original system and creating it to reflect the goals that you want. That in itself is like life changing.
Yeah.
If you can actually do it. So if people have questions, or I know a lot of this information too is part of your, can you tell us more about like your momentum group and the
Yeah,
coaching stuff?
go to Coach's Corner with Mike .com. That's, I have all kinds of things, but one of the programs that I offer is a momentum group coaching program, and in that, it's just keeping it simple.
Yeah.
It's talking about strategies and what needs to be done. How do we take this out? How do we get away from the shiny object? How do we
Mhm.
stop doing all these things? And how do we have a relationship-based business versus a transactional-based business?
Exactly.
So it's into there. So that's the thing to.
And we have a promo code, don't we? For
What's
Fight
that?
Club? A promo code for Fight Club, don't we?
Yep, Fight Club. Yeah, the promo is 50% off on the
Yes.
first month of that. So
Awesome.
put in
So they
Fight
go to
Club.
Coach's Corner with Mike, and then they can find out more information. It's called
Yep,
Momentum
just reach
Group.
out to me right through the website. Get on
Okay.
Facebook or whatever. Reach out, and I'll make sure you get taken care of.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate this. I think this is a good conversation, and we'll have like other conversations about, building your business, making it calmer, more profitable, and creating the life like that. The whole reason why you work,
How
right?
does this business fund our perfect life?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
it. And
That's it.
it starts with that first system. Keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
that'll get you out of the panic. That'll get you out of everything else. Keep it simple. And when your schedule gets full and you have more than you can handle, let's talk about systems to add leverage at that point.
Yep. I love it. That's awesome. Well, again, if they want to get a hold of you, it's coachescornerwithmike.com.
Yep.
And that's the
They can
best
reach
way.
out. They can reach out directly to me on my cell phone, 586-557-7319. Find me on Facebook. Find me all over the place. I'm easy to get a hold of.
You're easy.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much.
it. All right.
Have a good one.